doing today, my brothers and sisters? Or probably just mostly brothers, but I'm just saying. So I wanted to make it a little bit more creative, but especially because I don't, how YouTube, like I said, if you've been hearing me, you know how YouTube is about, content now. How they like to copy shit right all over when, in situations where it's not really copyright or what you intended to use for. So, but I guess that's okay because people still might have greedy intentions anyway. Plus, I don't want to spend much more time on Charlotte than I have to. So we all know the controversy surrounding Charlotte FLAIR. We all know the nuclear fiery bulging heat that's has really picked up off her. And what I have to say is, look, well, you can clearly see it in the title, but I mean, are we really that surprised? Like, come on, Charlotte. I think this started. I think it really started probably of last year, because that's where she was put into and being connected to her father kind of like pissed her off. So, which I understand. Yeah, you want to have your own accolades and all. She's not Charlotte's. I feel like Charlotte. Yeah, I do. Even though I don't, I really despise Charlotte. It's from like a ring perspective. Well, backstage he kind of maybe didn't like her, that don't like her anymore. But I feel like most definitely. I feel like Charlotte is one of the ones. One of the heirs to their legacy making parents that in a that's in like a generation family. I feel like she's one of those ones that she wants to be in a wheelhouse of her own. She wants to be like, when it comes to her own stake, she wants to have she wants to create she wants to have create and have her own stack of cards. Like, she doesn't want to be involved, convoluted, or pushed into, or forcefully put into a light the same way as her father, her family, to say is where she only got the accolades. I mean, kinda, but she doesn't want to be in that light, as far as where she has because he has worked most of her. Most of that she got by herself. So I will say that. So people, it's she did have a little bit help early on in a little bit of her career. So, like I said, we all know the controversy, the heat that's surrounding Charlotte. And like I said, I'm not y'all shouldn't really be surprised, because we, I know like a half or probably the majority had been knowing this about Charlotte. When it comes to Charlotte, her whole career, and it's like from a creative standpoint and really memorable. Besides the four horsewomen, what it really is a memorable thing you can remember about Charlotte that she had on her own? There's nothing about Charlotte that's there's nothing really about Charlotte as far as speaking as far as like in wrestling. There's nothing about Charlotte throughout her career that I guarantee that in about 20, even 5 years, 20, 30 years, that people will go back to say, oh yeah, remember that match when Charlotte, remember that moment where Charlotte was. No, I guarantee you pretty much nobody will be thinking about that going pretty into the future, because I feel like her whole, she's pretty much has been the same. The character from a character, charisma, character standpoint, she really hasn't even just from a character standpoint too. She hasn't really come up with nothing of her own. It's like all of it, everything that surrounds her in the wrestling ring and pretty much out of it, all of it connects to her father. She doesn't really have anything of her own besides, when it comes to her father and her family. I'm sorry, that's kind of harsh to me and biased to say, but it's the it's really is it really wrong? So as the backstage, that smacked like last Friday when they had as you see there, they had that spick and fat back and forth that wasn't planned. The way Charlotte threw the title on the ground at Becky's foot, and you could clearly see her face too. And I feel like the heat between them, it's not like it probably hasn't been as much as public, but I think if you go, I don't know, if you could pretty much go to storylines, storyline wise, you could probably if you really look deep enough, to go back and see where they originally started off to and started being named the Four Horsewomen. Probably is I don't know if it's NXT, but 2016 or in 2019 or 18. Now they say they were friends, but I can't really believe that. Yeah, it feels like that even the confrontation that they had, roaring back into stage into each other. It seems like they had that going on for a while. Just like all the other women, they don't really respect Charlotte because she's pretty much had a cater to spoon-fed career. And whether you want to believe that or not, considering you're a stan, or you just you're a stan and you really adore Charlotte's work, yeah, she's a very great performer. No woman, they could, but she pretty much does. I like to say this: she pretty much does what the majority of the women in the world right now consider that they can't do. She pretty much, it's like a rarity. Charlotte's a really great, athlete and performer. You can't get much bigger and giving her cards when it comes to Charlotte. I'll say that she really is phenomenal.
What?
Yeah.
Lay it out in?
No. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. I said I'm not by myself, but yeah. So yeah, like I said, considering also the heat with I think with Becky and her with Charlotte, it's themselves they probably really haven't liked each other, even being coworkers. That really even speaks much more when you think about it. That looks even much more clear now. Because they clearly don't like each other at all. And I'm pretty sure, Bailey and Sasha knows it too. I mean, she was probably sent out by Vince, but she probably had to, she probably inserted herself into out there, because she knows some shit was about to go down. Because Becky was about to let it the fuck loose on when she grabbed the mic. But I want to do a little bit of research also too to read it back when it first started. Because also her obviously too, she obviously has it looks much more noticeable too, as because if you go back to 24, to where she originally started, like 2013 to now, it does feel like she's like has gotten clearly some plastic surgery. So a lot of her being the way she is, it can obviously stem from self-esteem issues, how she feels you know deep inside about her appearance, or she has talked about being with her first husband, like she was like mentally and like physically abused by her first husband, Rick Johnson, I believe. Sorry, right here. I'm trying to let me see, because it's clearly noticeable. I mean, there's rumors too, and then you had Dave Meltzer. I fucking hated that too. What he said about it, originally said about it. Like I said, like it's her own. I'm just going from the standpoint of how she, the way she carries herself overall today. Because that's why overall, the WWE universe doesn't really, relate or like her even much more now, even in real life as a, a human being, or in the ring. But still, at the same time, Charlotte is her own, female to human being. She can do what she wants. Yeah, so there's, I'm pretty sure y'all know that time when, probably back in April when, I thought it was in August, but yeah, when she really got pissed. Yeah, she really got pissed when he said when he mentioned her having implications of plastic surgery. Yeah, oh, it also because I also look at here, she also has dealt with ruptured breast problems in the past. Damn. So that's because that's could also be why I guess she went under the knife to fix that. So she admittedly yeah, because like I said, 'cause if you she really looks much more different now. She looks much more, I guess, because still looks shredded, of course, physically, but yeah, right there too. If you go back and then look at her now, because as she wears much more makeup, and she's much more yeah, her face too. It's almost like she was. It's almost like you could tell that she like yeah. It's almost like you could tell the plastic surgery is really visible. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just like trying to dive into why, and the controversy surrounding her. It can be many things, whether it's concerning her, because she also. Well, I'll talk about this first. Yes, because she admittedly did some breast augmentation procedure to channel the feminine side of her. Oh, what? Whoa. So she didn't believe she was. I don't know, because even reading from here, it probably made it look like she made read it from here, and now like just looking at her body, and she probably was honestly you know not fond of the way she looked, physically, because she looks, yeah, she like physically looked like she can be a male. And like I've said, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just saying, as far as like her, just like how her self esteem, what her self esteem issues stem from. So it says, however, the surgery didn't turn out to be successful as she dealt with ruptured breast problems in the past to fix the issues. Charlotte Flair went under the knives last year during her extended heinous from WWE. So she tried to get more surgery after that didn't work out. And then last year, during her extended hiatus from WWE, since after making a comeback, and y'all be thinking about this, what all this has to do. This all stems to how the way she acts, or probably what's happened to her father. Right now, we know the whole plane and plane from hell he got from that, or just about just about her recent husband now, in Rane. It could be a lot of things. It's a lot, and it's also since after making a comeback, she's looking pretty different. As that's pretty obvious. So because she's obviously she obviously you can see it's pretty visible too that you see that she had surgery. And another thing, of course, of her being, so it's not just a lot of other things, you know, it's the not being fond of her, the way she looks, her body. Like I said, I'm not trying to be mean. But also, too, I'm just trying to understand why for y'all too, and then why she always to a point acts like this. As we all have our ups and downs too, like she's not like it's pretty she's not the only one. It's not it was really surprising because we all go through phases, or we all look at ourselves in the mirror and feel like as if we're not enough, or we don't look a certain way that we want to look. And if it's not if it's not her physical issues, obviously, if you want to call it self-esteem, it's the fact that she is connected to her father. Back in 2019, where probably I guess where she got probably tired. At that point, back in 2019, she got tired of being connected, and people. The only way where she is today is because of her. It's because of her father. I feel like she obviously could have gotten much more weight up to there on her own. Yeah, from her, even without her father. It's just that WWE just wanted to just put that stigma, that image onto her. Like, of course, I feel like she could even much more done a lot much more. Even if her father was it, because it seems like now that she doesn't really have any say with her father not even being there much either, because Vince is probably tired of her now. It just probably goes to show you that if her father wasn't even there in the first place, if she would have got the push that she would have gotten. Because like I said, Vince has his favorites, whether you're a part of a family or not. A wrestling family, if you were born into a wrestling family or not. So if he doesn't like you, or if you're not friends, and that's from a personal standpoint. It's not fair, but it's what it is. It's what these businessmen and it's what everybody else does. That's how they have that trope. That cliche. It's not really a cliche. It's reality. In the business world, if you know who you know much more, you skyrocket even further. And that's the same case, in the wrestling world. So she obviously, back in 2019, she was getting up to that point. She was getting sick and tired of being, connected, or the only way she's only at where she's at now because of her father. She didn't really, she couldn't. Those accolades don't come with her without him. And it's like, yeah, I don't like that either, because Sarah's obviously, incredibly talented. So, like I said, she can do what, the majority of women think they can't do. So that's a guy, especially that's a universal talent. That's a talent that's not easily attainable. So when she spoke about, yes, when she was on a podcast, probably being asked about, the question of, being connected to her father, she said, yeah, she didn't like seeing the words. Yeah, she didn't always like, seeing, the words of, a daughter of, basically being like put as a label of, being the product, the daughter of Ric Flair, Hall of Famer Ric Flair. Like, yeah, not her own name, like not her individual accolades and the name herself. And she really got pissed about ESPN when they said that. And she could really be, coming from emotional, because she can, as we seen that when she like pretty much dissed or basically cut a promo, ripped word for word, ripped apart Dave Meltzer, or probably not. I didn't even know she did it. Said that to ESPN when she said when they tried to put her as daughter of Ric Flair, daughter of WWE Hall of Famer Ric Flair. Yeah, she tweeted, "Dear ESPN, 7 times, now 8 WWE Women's Champion would have been fine." Then she said, "If you need a more detailed list of my accolades, feel free to reference last year's Body issue or one of the many articles about me on your website. Sincerely, daughter of WWE Hall of Famer Ric Flair." So she obviously got upset. Twisted in emotions over that, because like I said, like that's another thing that she probably the way that's in her character, or the way she acts, her actions, why she displays the actions, the way she displays it, because she doesn't really like she doesn't really like being put in the same light as her father. I understand, because she wants to be her own. She wants to be her own person. She wants to be her own. When it comes to wrestling world too, her own legend. And I can, I admire and like that as well. Because a lot of, just like in the wrestling world too, because they don't, pretty sure a lot of wrestlers get ones that don't have a backing, family wise, they really get pissed because they look at you as like you get before them, you get every opportunity is handed to you just because of your last name, which is not, and I'm pretty sure she didn't want that as well. I heard that she originally wanted, and that coming from Flair too. The way she acts, where she acts, wow, yeah, she. So I don't feel like she also just really acts that way, as far as like I'm being, I'm the daddy of Ric Flair. Yeah, I'm the daughter of Ric Flair, and I can do what I want just because I can. So I don't really think she acts like that, considering the fact that she wanted Bianca to be Raw champion, but how Vince stupid ass originally thought, and just went the other way with it. I told you, just like a few others have basically have explained, voice frustrations. That's so Vince doesn't give a damn about women. That's why they pissed the way they pissed her. He doesn't, regardless of the fact, he doesn't give a damn. Besides it just being money, that's why the women feel the way they feel. It's a shame. It's like they gotta go through, because I mean they could go to AEW, but that'll probably be too much talent, as far as the talent they have now. But so they gotta deal with it. It's not like, besides AEW, it's not like any other popular, worldly known, regardless if it's mainstream or not, that they can just up and go to, because it's not possible. Because WWE has been that the place for, if you were to become a wrestler, for the last 30 years, whatever, like 60, 70, 50 years. And it's just like, where else could you go? So after that, she also she started to really got rattled, because she was put in a storyline. What, pretty sure we all know that, if come to mind about that. That'll probably be, when you look at it, and she'll probably be mostly pissed about that, but probably it comes to people's minds. That'll probably be the only memorable thing about her, as far as her wrestling career goes. With Lacey Evans, when they did the whole Ric Flair and Lacey Evans storyline of her being pregnant, potentially pregnant by Rick. Yeah, that was really fucked up. I would have been, pissed as well, because they said that, originally she didn't really take light, or she didn't really like being in that storyline. But Vince, he doesn't give a fuck at all. He better do what he say, or you get the axe. So, as they say here, when he did an interview about it, when he opened up about, I guess the backstage reactions to it, and him and her being unaware of the fact that they wanted to do this storyline, which is not really new, because Vince has done questionable what the fuck storylines in the past, whether it has to be wrestling with God, or him wearing a do-rag and saying the N-word on TV. It's just like, oh wow. Or him just giving tongue to was it, Trish, when basically in front of his wife. Wow. Yeah, Vince has done a lot of questionable shit. It's not even funny at all. So when he did that interview, he was like, they weren't expecting that pitch. Him and Charlotte, they was like, what the fuck is this? They was like, well, and I'm pretty sure she was like, I ain't doing this shit. She's pretty well, she probably told, I'm pretty sure that was scripted, but I don't know. Probably as far as her telling him to go home, and her really snapping out of the fact that they ran with this storyline, really pissed her off. So he said, yeah, they weren't expecting that pitch. It was, surprised with that, like, so, and they were, so he goes to go on about, he says, they say, that no one involved in the angle knew about the long-term goals. Meaning that they wasn't really expecting this to come across their table. Like her and her, Rick wasn't really expecting this to go across her table, or, last in the period extended time that it did, which even probably more pissed her off. The fact. Yep. And then he said that, of course, she wouldn't be all that crazy about the storyline when the story was first brought up. Well, it caught us both. Well, it caught us both off guard. It was presented to me. I think it was just a trial run, if that makes sense. No one really understood, for sure exactly what was going to go. I would be remiss if I thought Ashley was crazy about it. Because she didn't really like to. It seems like she didn't really like that storyline at all. Because I guess he had heard her father being pregnant by another woman, I guess, so she could come, and how, basically stamping the idea that she could be her and she's her coworker. So her being, being stamped as her stepmother basically would be, fucking, embarrassing. And, yeah, she really did not like that storyline. She probably was about, probably damn near she would really go off TV for a while if that was the case. As you saw that promo when she cut on Rick about him selling like the go home promo, where she like pretty much emotionally snapped, and she was probably like, yeah, I was probably like I said, that too wasn't really scripted, even though we do like many things are scripted because promos especially are scripted, just like the matches. Well, not the fighting, but as far as like the predetermined outcome of the matches. So yeah, like I said, she was really not a fan. She was really not an admirer. Sorry, she was really not fond of that storyline. She hated it. So yeah, there goes that. Also, and I'm pretty sure like she probably still thinks about that. That's probably one of the the many things, probably like the little things that just as her being just a daughter, people just recognizing her as just the daughter of Ric Flair really like tweaks and makes her much more uncomfortable when people say that, just as much as the Lacey Evans storyline. So, and as we know here, and I guess also probably she could probably not even be liked even more, not liked even more by the locker room, considering the fact, because she had also had a lot of kind of personal damage and things that before back in 2008 where she was arrested September 5th 2008, and basically assaulting a police officer. So she probably was like she was with her boyfriend. Oh, she was with her boyfriend and Rick. And she like, and from there or everything like that. And she also where is it? She also mentions in her autobiography she was her first marriage, I guess, with Rick Johnson, Ricky Johnson, when he was originally married in 2010. She says, yeah, it was difficult living with Johnson. As I said, where she was, he was abusive to her, physically, mentally abusive to her. So I guess that could be as far as why that can pertain into her self-esteem issues, of why, of her having, being much more, emotional when it comes to people mentioning her. And as we all know, that's what so yeah, that's what, obviously the backstage, her and Lich got into a fight. Oh, it didn't go physical, but basically, they got into a fight basically about, the way the segment went down of them swapping the titles. And I guess Lich really got upset over the fact that, how basically the women were being treated like cookies. Like, basically like shopping carts being switched out for, basically damn near lesser. They don't mean any lesser than a shopping cart. And that's pretty much, that's pretty fucked up. Like I said, it's the way the women right now are being treated is really, unacceptable. It makes no damn sense as the way they should be treated like that. As much as, excite, supporters and excitement, the work that they do in and out of the ring, and it doesn't make sense for that. Why does she be treated this way? But if it's looks at them as just another meal ticket, so. And just over the fact that he prefers entertainment over wrestling, as probably like a few others, and we all know this. The ones who really know, and about he really doesn't give when it comes to the wrestling aspect, he just looks at it as entertainment. He didn't really get into it for the wrestling aspect. He got into it just for the business aspect. See, like I said, I'm pretty sure Charlotte's not really. She just had a life of her, others treating her as if she doesn't, she's basically others treating her as if she's only gotten an opportunity because of her family, her last name, and I feel like that's probably kind of the only way she acts, the way she acts. Because when she came back initially, I think it was in sorry here. I'm actually bring it up. Because when she came back, nobody. She was when it got to in attendance too. She was universally hated. I feel like she could have benefited from that too. Just like Roman Reigns, she could have took that heat and ran with it and turned her character into and much more. That's just when you look at her, you just want to spit. Yeah, because when she came back, nobody wanted it, and nobody was gave a damn. See. But yeah, that's when because that's after the fact where she had COVID. She could have possibly be pregnant. So that's why she wasn't in WrestleMania 37. A lot of things. I mean, those things basically would have. And everybody hated that. And the fact that she even went off the fact that she's getting opportunities because of her last name, her father, her family. Which ticked her off. But like I said, she's had issues with that before, of her not being fond of the fact that she's been tied down with her father. The fact that she went with that. Taking and also going off the fact that she's taking every opportunity from the other women. That's obviously again, I'm not trying to be mean, but obviously they're much more. Sorry, I got something on my nose, but yeah, what they seem much more better than her. When it comes to talent and character, and people not just they don't want her on screen anymore, because I feel like people got tired of the fact of her just being on screen. That probably really irks her. That irks her as well. So and I feel like she could have even benefited from that even more, because she could have now even then became her much more character. And it's like she doesn't want to be tied down to her. I get that, like I said, I get that. But it's like she goes with it. She comes out, she looks just like her father. Down to the character, down to the clothing, to the accolades, to the way she acts. It's like how you don't want, everything to seem like you've only been handed to you just because of her being connected to your father, but you go with it. And it's like you relish off the fact of that and spit it into people's faces. So why would you even, entertain that fact if you don't want to be tied down with it? So it's like, how could you feel sorry for her? And I also hear that Obviously, the women got Lynch's back because she's the one. I hear she's the one that's much more liked. And like I said, because of what happened, so the women got the superstar. The locker room basically is siding with Becky Lynch, as I hear here. After the whole thing that went down, after the whole situation that went down with Charlotte and her. So basically, like, yeah. Well, and it's like, because I also think it was they were also saying that it's because like the way she like acted and threw the title down, like Charlotte, it's because she didn't want to look weak. Like who? It's like I just been that because they really could have had a point where it didn't really had to come like that. They could have really avoided this stupid shit. Like when it comes to it, it's Vince stupid ass. That's the that's the fucking blame for this because he put this into a situation where Charlotte has this heat on her which she does not deserve. I mean, she got it to that point, but it's like she's too fast on her. But it's like Vince put it in a situation where he put all this fucking heat on her, and she really doesn't deserve it. Because like it's like she has her own upbringing and the way she's come up, unnecessary hate, which I also understand. But it's like when you think about it too, the fucking creative team, Vince put this into it, like he brought this up, and it's fucking despicable. It really is. It's a shame. I'm sorry. I sound like I got a fucking like I got cotton balls. I'm talking with cotton balls in my mouth. Sorry, I got my stuffed nose. Happens when I talk on a log for a period of time. But yeah, it's really a shame. And the fact that this might even come to the fact. I mean, you saw it in my thumbnail, but this might even come to the fact that. Yeah, it's like even more become true that, and you got the fact that her husband tweeted "F you WWE." Yeah, she might just up and leave. She might just say fuck, because after that she went to go support her husband. So she might just say go fuck it and fuck everybody else here and just leave and go to AEW. And that might really be bad, also, because we're now. I mean, she might not go, but we're now just even more. You put that down, even some more conversation that she might even just leave. If that's all, when it comes down to is situations like this, Vince is a fucking one to blame for this. It's really a shame. Really a fucking shame. If people look at it as if it's not really his fault, which the fuck it is. Because he runs all this shit. It's really a shame. And I really hope, because I really don't want her to leave, because I hope they can all work past this. Come to consideration that, that they can work past it. And not, I mean, they have their lives to think about that, like, at the end of it all. But, not to a point where they just, because I'm pretty much sure that they, even though the issues that Lynch and Charlotte has had in the past, I'm pretty sure they're all, I'm pretty sure they all like high school buddies when it comes down to it. Like, they all high school buddies, besties. Little girls going on a ferry trip, so I hope there's a situation where they can work past that. and maybe, for the supporters, work past it and just come to a conclusion that, this is, they can pretty much, apologize, Charlotte in particular, and just, work past it and give, the wrestling community what, just try to give them the best of what they can give them. So, like I said, she doesn't really deserve the scrutiny that she's getting. Because when it all comes down to it, Vince put this into fruition. He put this shit to light. And it's like he put all this heat on her. I mean, he's fucking upset with her, but he's the one that fucking did it. So it's a shame. Like, I really fucking hate Vince, because he does shit like this, and it really blows back onto other people. But nobody's really going to care. Everybody just looks at this, drama to just pop a bottle or, popcorn to, and nobody really looks deep into it and really supports, cares, give a damn overall, even though they say this is their supporter and the stand of these particular people. But then again, they laugh in the fact, and they're behind closed doors, just relishing off the fact that they're put into situations like this. Unfucking believable. But I'm also working on Ryback too, because I want to talk about him, because he kind of pissed me off also. Even though I was kind of like, because I've been a fiend of him, particular. I've been kind of obsessed with him for a while, because he is like a Goldberg, but he's pretty much I consider him much more better than Goldberg, because he can kind of wrestle a bit, even though he's overall just not. He should work on himself a bit. Well, wrestling rise, but sorry, you just hear my stuffy voice. And I just wanted to bring this to y'all attention on what I thought about the whole situation. I wanted, just pretty much my overall thoughts is just, I really just didn't wish that this came down on Charlotte, considering the fact that I just really don't like her. I just say I'm as a wrestler, because I'm pretty sure she's not really like this. Even though now it much more seemed like it, because the way she acted now and the way she's acted to the rest of the women and Lynch. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure she's not really like this in actual life. When we all close the books and look at her, in actual reality. So I'll come back to y'all later, because I want to watch a horror movie. But I'll be working now on Ryback. It'll probably be the same way as this, because I can't put much more, a little bit creativity into it, because fucking YouTube and they policy sticking up their ass bullshit. So I'll see y'all back when I see y'all, pretty much tomorrow. Yeah, I'll see y'all Monday. So stay blessed, y'all. And I just pray once more for Charlotte, because even though I kind of would like her in AEW, I wouldn't really want to see her in AEW, as she kind of still has besties, and she still have a lot more to give. I want to see that, probably never, but I want to see where she can have, even if she does go to AEW, I would like to probably see a much more change in character, because she does have talent that you can appreciate. So I hope the best for Charlotte. Even though I'm not, well, it says in the title, I'm not really fond of, the way she's carried herself and, her attitude, as if she's just bigger than everyone else. So stay blessed, y'all. I'll see y'all when I see y'all.